everybody, welcome back to my channel, Fixing It Up with Sandra. In case you're new here, I'm Sandra. And does anybody recite that opening when they turn on my YouTube tutorial? I know I do it with podcasts that I listen to over and over and over again to their intro. I'm like, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, the other day I was going through all of my videos here on YouTube, and I realized, I don't know why it didn't click in my head, probably because I didn't see these in my Dollar Tree this season, this Halloween season, but I have not done a witch's hat this season, and it's kind of hard to see, but this is a witch's hat frame, and I know with all the stuff in the background, it's kind of hard to see, but I'm like, oh my goodness, I have not made one. And these are super popular, at least for me. When I make them, I usually sell them within 24, 48 hours, knock on wood. But I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't made one. And these are probably one of the easiest wreaths to make. Very beginner friendly. For the most part, I'm using everything that I got from the Dollar Tree, so it's very budget friendly. And then you can decorate it as you see fit. So I want to get started. I want to get one made and hopefully get this up on the wall so it can be sold soon, knock on wood. But anyways, let's point the camera down and get started on this thing. You're gonna need your glue gun. I'm gonna be using this garland. Some people use mesh to wrap the top part of this. And I was like, oh, should we do poofs and whatnot? No. It just seems to work with this. So I did do a couple of these little bundles, and this is something that I did yesterday while I was prepping for everything else. I took Dollar Tree mesh, and I know everybody's got their opinion about it. It's not my fave, but I wanted to do this with Dollar Tree items. So I got a purple, so what is it? I did 2 rolls of purple, 2 rolls of black, and then 4 rolls of orange because I have 2 orange pieces on here and then 1 black and 1 purple. And so obviously I curled them and then wrapped them with the pipe cleaner, cut the pipe cleaner in half to just kind of, save some material. Cut the pipe cleaner in half. We're gonna attach it down to on this base right here. And so other than that, that's basically it. I do have some trinkets that we're going to glue on once we get this whole thing assembled. But for the most part, this, like I said, is very budget friendly, very easy. And I'm going to talk about, because the one question that I get asked over and over and over when I create anything is, how much would you sell it for? So throughout this video, I'm going to be talking about pricing and what I do. And this is just what I do. This is just like what I think and what I would recommend. Please take this information and just maybe use it as a stepping stone. It's not set in stone. And just adjust it to where you see fit, what works for where you're at, and what you think makes sense. So anyways, I'm gonna point the camera down. We're gonna get into this, and yeah, I'm gonna give you a little information while we're working. So let's point that camera down. All right, so I'm gonna start with a garland that I got at the Dollar Tree. These are 9 feet garlands, okay? And here's how I'm going to start it. I'm going to just kind of wrap it around before I glue it on, because sometimes the glue doesn't necessarily stick to the frame. So I kind of wrapped it around, and then I'm just gonna put a little dollop of glue right here. And remember what I said about this glue gun? It is screaming hot. So I'm just gonna be super careful because I already, look at that from my glue gun. It's taken almost a week to heal. All right, so like I said, we're gonna talk about pricing. So first off, the bare minimum is doubling what you paid for the product. So our wreath frame was $1.25. Immediately double it, $2.50 minimum. So you take everything and double it, because that you want to at least make a profit. It's called, for those who are completely new to all of this, that's your wholesale price. Like doubling exactly like the cost is your wholesale price, okay? So I'm just gonna kind of wrap that up. And this is just, I'm just gonna turn it like so here. Maybe I should adjust the camera. All right, so I'm just taking, this is the easiest way for me to do it, is just take it and then just spin it. And then every now and then, scrunch up, okay? So anyways, double the price for any material used. So 125, 125, so that's $250, okay, that we paid for our materials. So automatically $5, okay? And we'll get into the time, like the cost for our time, because that matters. We'll get into that in just a second, but always, 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 always double the cost. Now, sometimes I do 3 times, and sometimes I even do 4 times. And we'll get into that in just a minute, but here we go. We're just going like this, and then every now and then scrunch up so you get it like nice and tight. And this is why I say this is so beginner friendly, especially when you're using these garlands. So, all right, we're getting towards the end. Okay, so we come up here, we're getting towards the end, and then just kind of scrunch that up. And it's, so what I'm gonna do, ever so carefully, I'm gonna take my glue gun and I'm gonna glue right here. Oh gosh, every time I see that steam, it just terrifies me. All right, I'm actually gonna use this to push down. Okay, so again, the reason why you would double it, for those who have never, I mean, I was at this point where I'm like, why would you even double it? Because you want to first make back the cost of the product. You want to make back your money, bare minimum, okay? Then doubling it allows you to repurchase more product, the exact same product. And here's why I do it times 3, because not only do I want to pay for I want to get my money back for what I paid for it, I want to double it so I can repurchase the same items so I can make another one. But I want to make money too. So the third, when you triple it, that third, set of cost allows you to put some money in the bank, allows you to pay your bills. It allows you to, have the money, because if you only are getting your money back and buying the supplies, then you're really not making any money. Does that make sense? I have had to learn the hard way. I did not know that if I only doubled, I was not actually making money. I was just making enough money to repurchase. So again, don't feel bad if you did not know that, because it's not common if you are not in the business. So I left a little bit, I'm letting this dry out here, because I'm gonna wrap this around the, let me grab another glue stick. I'm gonna wrap this around the frame here, but I am determined not to touch that glue. So I'm just gonna wrap it around a couple of times, and there is a little bit of wire, so it does have somewhat of a grip. And then I'm just gonna do a little dab right here, where I'm gonna put this on there. Okay, so now we're adding a new piece. So again, it's $1.25, but we're doubling it. And don't forget to add in the tax that goes with this. So whatever the tax is where you're at, add that into the cost as well. So, all right, we've got that. And again, just super easy. I almost wish I had one of like those things that people make, the spinny cups, those fancy cups that spins, to do this. Okay, maybe we're just gonna do it like that and then squish. Alrighty, it's working. So here we go. All right, and I hope you guys are finding some of this information helpful. Now, when it comes to the cost of your time is valuable. Okay, now that we're at the end, I'm going to wrap this around that outer edge just to make sure that it holds on. twice, and then I'm going to glue it onto the top right here. But first I am going to kind of make sure that I got it all up. So here's what I do to be compensated for my time, because your time is valuable. You should always be getting paid for your time. Here's what I do. I take the California state minimum wage, because that's where I live. And gosh, I think it's like $16.50 an hour or something like that. And I just basically divide it in half, and that's what I pay myself per hour. So I tack that on with the cost of the goods, okay? And everybody should be getting paid for their time, 100%. Anybody who is like in business, officially, I guess you can say, or whatever, gets compensated for their time. Always, always, always. And the reason why I do the minimum wage, and I explain this to people when they're like, oh, why does it cost XYZ? Because I'm like, well, here's why. And then, you know, I compensate myself for my time. And for anybody who wants to argue with me that I'm not even worth below the minimum wage to do something, you're not my kind of customer anyways. So yeah, get compensated for your time, 100%. Include the price of the glue. Like the pack of glue that I got, I think there was like 10 for $1.25. Divide that up. And then how many glue sticks did you use? Because it is a product that goes on here and it's something that you have to pay for. So include the glue stick, okay? All right, so now we are on our third garland, okay? So let's go ahead and start this. I did, as you saw, added a little glue. Okay, now as we're getting wider, it's just a little bit more difficult, but again, bare minimum, 125 plus 125, bare minimum. Okay, so now I'm just gonna squish this up like so, and then go ahead and repeat the same process. Just add a little glue, make sure that you're very careful not to burn yourself. All right, so 1 item, 2 item, 3 item, 4, $1.25 a piece, times 2 minimum. Half of the minimum wage wherever you're at is what I recommend. You don't have to put that part into your product, not at all. I'm just saying, if you want to really make the total value of, you know, be compensated, the total value of your goods, you add in the time, the price for your time. So there. So we'll let that just sit for just a little bit more, and we're gonna add our 4th garland. All right, just letting that do its thing because I don't want it to pop off. All right, so I'm just gonna, again, tuck this around. You can even tie this if it makes you feel better, however you want to include this on here. And I just did a little twisting around. Okay. And just as an FYI, I'm sure you all know this as well, if you've ever bought garland from the Dollar Tree, it can, if you tug too hard, it can snap. So just be very careful when you are wrapping to not pull too tight. Okay, like so. All right, and we're gonna dip into a 5th garland. All right, I had just a little bit, so we might not even use the entire 5th garland. So again, if we only use half, you're gonna divide that in half. And let me grab that other garland. All right, so we've got our 5th garland, and I'm not going to cut this in half. I'm just going to go until it is nice and tight. So I'm just going to flip this over like so. I'm going to glue this on top of this other piece right here. All right. There we go. And of course, if you have any more questions regarding the pricing, please do not hesitate to ask in the comments, because I struggled with pricing, and I felt like I was selling all this product and I was like, oh yeah, I'm doing great. And then, well, actually, you know what? We're going to use the whole thing. And then when I was like looking at my bank account, I'm like, so if I sold all this stuff after I repurchased all my material that I needed, I'm like, so then why am I not like, why don't I have enough to pay my bills? You know, it was just, and I was like, oh, because I'm not charging enough. Like I only charged enough to rebuy the product. I didn't actually make money. So I learned the hard way, which is fine, but I want to pass it on to you guys. So how to do better than that. So, how not to make the same mistake. All right, so we've got this all on here. Let me pan back so you guys can see what we have. All right, so here is the top to our witch's hat, which is super adorable. I don't know why orange and black seems to go with purple, but it just does. And so that's why we are going to put these little poofs at the bottom. Now, let's go ahead and adjust the camera so we can start adding these on. It's gonna be fairly easy. We're just gonna attach our pipe cleaners to our witch's base, and then we're gonna start adding on our trinkets. Okay, so I made these cute little bundles, and like I said, I used 2 rolls of purple, 2 rolls of black, 4 of the orange, and I cut them at 13 inches. Why? Just because. And again, working with Dollar Tree mesh, I think they say that the roll is like 5 feet or something like that, but you know how it goes. It could be many different lengths, and it just, yeah, it can be a really good roll. It could be a really bad roll where it's just stringy or whatnot. So I roughly got 14 cuts per roll, okay? So now I'm just going to, and then with that, some rolls I got 14 cuts, some rolls I got 10 cuts. It really depends. And so I'm just taking this, placing it onto my wire frame like so. And I should have left one. Okay, check out my other videos if you're not sure how to do a curl for the mesh, because what you would do, let me just take my paper towel. So what you would do, say if this is your mesh, you cut it at 13 inches, okay? Then you take it and you simply just roll it like so, and then put it into like a paper clip, or not a paper clip, but a clothespin or something, and then do that with each color, and then scoop them all together and then put them into a pipe cleaner, okay? So that's how I made these little bundles. And I'm not sure exactly how many I have. I didn't count, but we have 3 on here right now. We're going on 4. I'm gonna try to keep track, but again, because it's dollar store mesh, it could vary. So it can be completely different for everybody. And don't forget to get the top part of your witch's hat. So yeah, this was like the tedious part of, you know, this. But again, don't forget to do the pricing for each roll on here, and the pipe cleaners. Even if you cut them in half, give them a price, because it's a product on your wreath frame. All right. So I'm not going to make you watch me do every single one of these because like I said, it's just tedious work. It's just the same thing over and over. My bundles are all made. I just simply now have to attach them to this frame with my pipe cleaners, and you just basically twist them on, and I'm going to show you what I have so far. So this is what it'll look like at the bottom of your hat. Super, super adorable. Like I said, we're still going to add trinkets, so we're just going to go ahead and fill up the rest of our bottom, and then I'll be right back. All right, I cannot wait to show you guys the finished product. No, I did not count how many are on here. I'm so sorry. There's probably 20, I'm gonna guess. No. Probably like 28. Okay, here's what it looks like. What do you guys think? Super, super cute, very easy to do. And I say that because I've done this for years, but I do believe that it is family friendly. You could probably have your kids roll the mesh for you, or have somebody, you know, wrap the top part. But what do you guys think so far? And I just want to show you this bottom piece, how cute this is. Now I do have some ribbon and like I said, some trinkets. So we're going to point the camera down again and we're going to get started on that. So here are some of the items that I have. I have this cute little sign that says the witch is in, and I'm just undoing the metal or the wire. And I do have some cute vase fillers. These are the black ones. These are the purple ones. I don't know if I'm going to use them just yet. And I do have to say that I am going to be using ribbon that is not from the Dollar Tree. Actually, this one is, and this one is, but this one is not. So I just want to point that out. This is not from the Dollar Tree. Oh, and I'm just looking, neither is this. This is both from Michael's on clearance after the holidays. All right. So I'm just thinking about, let me just adjust my camera. One of these days I'm gonna have those remote ones or those auto ones. I'm thinking about putting it into the center of the hat, but I'm just gonna leave it right there for now. I have these adorable witch's legs that I'm thinking of hanging off the bottom. I don't want to tear this out, but anyways, we have that, and I'm thinking, I was gonna add some of these, but I think we have enough on there that I'm just going to not add this. I don't want to do too much since we already have this and that. We're just gonna do a cute bow. So let me toss these down the way. All right, so I'm gonna grab, you know what, actually, we're gonna go ahead and glue our centerpiece on because I did like where it was at. Oh, I had turned that off, so let that just sit for a second. All right, now for this. I, again, wish I could find my Bodabra. Let me see if I can find it here at the shop. I'm not finding it, and I'm telling you, I'm lost without it. So we are going to, once again, attempt to make a bow. And yep, we're just gonna go like that. Just wanna make sure maybe make that one just a hair bigger. And like I said, I am not the best at making these bows by hand like this, or with my, just like holding it in my hand. I am very envious of those who can. I've watched countless videos where people are, you know, oh, let's just make a bow. And I'm like, how are you doing that? So, all right. I'm thinking, okay. Snip it off. All right, just throw that over there. So I have this one. Now I want to do this adorable witch's hat because it just totally fits the theme. I'm gonna start with this. And I think we're gonna skip maybe the feet one because I don't want it to get lost in this because this is a really busy ribbon, but I don't know, I say that right now, but let me see. All right. I know I'm like completely out of frame because my hand doesn't move in a certain direction, and this is actually quite difficult for me. So there we go. This is what I've got so far. There we go. This is what I've got. We're going to spread all of the little poofs out. And I think we're good, right? We don't need the feet, although I love the feet. Okay, I'm just going to take a pipe cleaner, tie it before it all falls apart. Like so. And then I'm just going to adjust the poofs right here before I place it onto the wreath. And you always, I don't care how well you do this, unless you are extremely talented, I always have to adjust like I am right now. And then when I put it on the wreath, I have to readjust. Okay. All right, now I'm putting this in. Okay, down the bottom part of this, when you look, you'll see there's like a center part, and that's where I'm placing this bow. So I'm gonna flip it over and get it right through there. Perfect. Okay. Alrighty, and then because I've got it flat, you know, the bow underneath this, of course I'm going to have to readjust. All right. Got the poofs back up, and it looks adorable. And I think my glue gun is just about ready to do that sign for me. Perfect. I love it. Here's what it looks like. Super cute. We also have to make, of course, the very ends of this all fancy. So that's what I'm doing right now. Cutting the ends to make them the fancy ribbons now. Okay. And of course, make them now the same length because you saw me randomly cut the bottoms. All right, there's that. Okay. There we go. And then last one, but not least. I'm trying to see where I cut this. Okay, right about there. All righty. Okay, we just need the sign on our center. Make sure that you got it the right way. So be very careful. And I do have, okay, so you know where we had the wire go through? We do have two little holes, and I hate when those are exposed. So I'm actually gonna grab my base fillers, my black ones, and they have tiny little beads in here. And I'm going to ever so carefully place those over the holes, just so it doesn't look so, I don't know what the word is, but you know what I mean. And again, ever so carefully with the glue gun. Okay, and you'll see what I'm talking about here in just a second, in case you're like, what holes are you covering? And I believe we are going to be adding the witch's feet at the bottom. So let me see how we can do this. All right. I'm deciding whether or not we leave the ring on or if we use pipe cleaners to attach it. So that is my only kind of question right now. other than getting this piece of plastic out of this mesh. All right, I think everything's fine. All right, let's just get a look at what this completed look looks like. How many times did I say look? All right, I believe our sign is on there well enough. This is trying to stick to every part of me. What do you think? Okay, and then see where I added the little base fillers to cover those holes? Ooh, now let me just try to figure out a way to properly hold this without trying to destroy it. If we added feet, what do you think? I think it's perfect. All right. How are we going to do this? I think just so we don't have to cut anything, and I am just really not in the mood to try to break this like plastic ring, we're just gonna add it like so. We're just gonna flip this over, which I will definitely point the camera down. Oh, point the camera down. I'm gonna make sure my sign is on there really good. So we're gonna flip this over, just making sure my sign's not coming off. And we're taking this, remember, we're not breaking off this at all. And I still have the pipe cleaner on here from when I put my bow on here, which is, the pipe cleaner is long. And this is another reason why I don't cut my pipe cleaners until the very, very end, because you just never know. So I'm just simply wrapping the feet with the pipe cleaner from my bow. I want to make sure that I really get it on there. All right. They're on. This is such an adorable wreath. Oh my goodness. All right. We have completed the wreath. Now, did you count? Okay, so because we were talking about the price of the wreath. Now, what I do, see the price on there? $5 for 12 feet. All right, this is where the math comes in. I'm terrible at math, I hate it, but I will do it when I'm trying to sell a product. But I can't do it in my head, so I'm just gonna throw out the information. You do it in your head or on paper. So it's $5, don't forget to add the tax, and then it's 12 feet. You're gonna divide that by the 12 feet, and then get your price per feet. Figure out how many feet you use to make this bow. For even the $1.25, do the same thing. You must get paid accordingly, and you don't want to overcharge and you don't want to undercharge. So know how much ribbon you used and how much it is per feet. You can even break it down to inches if you want, but make sure that you're putting that in there. And then the sign, the vase fillers, I mean, because we used 2, really not a big deal. I'm willing to let that slide. I used 1 glue stick, and don't forget our little feet. So add all of that up, times it by 2 minimum. Look at that. How sweet is that? This is so cute. I absolutely love this wreath. I think it's super adorable, and hopefully it sells, and then I will price this accordingly. I will be adding up everything that I used in here. And so, okay, say you made your bow. You're like, I don't even know how many inches or feet I used. Well, then go back in here and then see how much you have left, and then minus it from the amount that was originally on here. So just like I said, there's a lot of math. I hate math, but I got paid basically nothing for the first couple of years that I did crafting, whether it was make a wreath, a candle, so many things. And you know, you're on that hamster wheel. And if you really want to be somebody who is making money and possibly starting a business, even if this is something that you do on the side, it's whatever, you still want to make money or at least break even. You don't want to be giving away product unless, you know, maybe it's for your friends or family and you want to cut cost and all that other stuff. That's great. But if you're like, how come I'm not making money? Ask yourself, are you doing all of the things that I'm talking about? And like I said, just multiplying it by 2 allows you to recover your cost and then break even to replenish your items. If you times it by 3, it allows you to then have the money to possibly pay your bills, buy food, all the other things, okay? So this is our wreath. What do you guys think? Do you guys like the information that I have given you guys today in regards to how much should I charge for a wreath? I do have a tutorial or a video where I go really in depth with it. I think for the most part. So it is back there. I did see that it was still available to watch. I've been really trying to really just clean up my YouTube channel. So hopefully you guys find things that are informative, but I just can't get over the little legs. I absolutely love it. So let me know what you think of this wreath. Did you find it fun? Do you love the colors? Would you added the feet ribbon? Do you think it would have been too busy with both ribbons on here that have lots of, detail? I want to hear what you think in the comments below. Of course, if you are on social media and you make one of these, I would love for you to send me a picture on Instagram or Facebook, just so I can see, hey, she followed my tutorial or he made something super adorable. And of course, if you want more information on just pricing and all of that stuff, because it is a question I get asked time and time and time again. So I just want to make sure that I, threw it in here for beginners or for somebody who was like me that didn't know what I was doing for about at least 2 years. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you again in my next tutorial. Bye guys.